Brooklyn Independent Television.
Carl Ferrerro is a multidisciplined artist who does everything from watercolor paintings to writing lyrics for a pop synth band. So cool. He recently let us know how Red Hook helps form his artistic vision.
I'm Carl Ferrerro, and I am a multimedia artist, mostly focused in painting, sculpture, and installation. Besides my own art practice, I've been working with my partner Andrew and his band UVA, and I've written lyrics, and I've been making videos that we use to project onto the band as they perform. Of the music is electropop. It's a little bit new wave. It's kind of ambient, but it also uses dance music as an inspiration. Electropop is sort of a good way to describe it.
The band started in 2009. Gotten really great feedback. We played in sort of traditional music venues, and also played in sort of like art galleries and other sort of non-traditional venues. So I think that kind of keeps things interesting, But we've gotten really great feedback. People come back to the shows and seem quite excited. So
I started working with Andrew because, we've been together for a while and we had always wanted to collaborate. And then I was invited to do something performative for an art show, an exhibition I was in. And they suggested that Andrew and I work together. So it was sort of the gallery suggested that, and then Andrew said, why don't you make a video? And it was just sort of one of these moments where after that happened, he's like, you should just make videos for every show. So then we just started really working on that. And then I got into writing lyrics because in some of my older work I've used a lot of writing and words, and Andrew was really into it, and he asked me, he said, would you want to maybe translate this into song lyrics, and that's sort of how that happened.
I think Carl's contribution kind of fleshes out the project, kind of gives the music more life, if you will. The video projections add sort of a dreamy, dreamlike quality to the shows. There's only two of us on stage, and I think it just kind of adds a little bit more to the show. Make things interesting for the audience.
I think what inspires me is what I see in the world around me. I feel like my work is based on like a moment of seeing something that connects me to the world, and then I try to translate that into a piece of art. I ended up getting a studio in Red Hook after graduate school. I just happened to find a really great studio space in Red Hook, and I just fell in love with the neighborhood. And it's definitely a conducive neighborhood to art. There's a lot of artists out here, there's a lot of artist studios, sort of seaside landscape that's feels really unique and kind of really helpful to thinking about art and aesthetics. So this first piece here does not have a title, and the original inspiration for it was that I wanted to make something that was kind of minimal and sort of almost machine-like in my mind, and combine it with something natural. And so I started with making this cube, and then I ended up cutting my hand. And then I was like, well, why don't I just mess up the cube and make it look bloody and strange? And I had made this little piece of a butterfly. And once this piece was done, this cube, I sort of just stuck it in. And somehow it came together for me, and I really saw it as this original vision of sort of the inorganic mixing with the organic. So the next piece right here was inspired by a trip to upstate New York. We were looking at the house where Andrew grew up, and we were seeing all over, it was really covered in snow and trees, and then there were these sort of flags that were delineating property, and I've been always trying to merge representation with abstraction, and so that was sort of what was going on here. And then the flags sort of become a more tangible element because they're three-dimensional. And I have another piece to show you this way. So this last piece was inspired by, in science fiction films, when they go into hyperspace, you see all the stars head into one direction. I'm trying to bridge these ideas of, film and that type of imagery with painting and the language and vernacular of painting and modernism. So thanks for coming to my studio. If you want to find out more about my work or see more, it's at carlferrerro.com.
Become a fan on Facebook, like Brooklyn Independent Television.